Thanks.
I'm Jesse Johnson, and I play keyboards and piano in Motion City Soundtrack, the rock band.
Jesse Johnson loves to play poker.
Poker! Obviously, Tony is an absolutely amazing drummer.
I'm Tony Thaxton, the drummer of Motion City Soundtrack.
Tony's my boy. He's probably the funniest person I know in a really weird way.
And all of a sudden I hear this drum fill and I'm like, oh, that's where I got the idea for that drum fill. I totally ripped that off.
My name is Matt. My story is I was born and I play the bass.
Matt Taylor is just a total sweetheart. He's a musical genius. He's kind of like one of those guys that can play any instrument. He's just a really nice guy.
See, the thing with Matt is he's actually knows what he's doing. Like, me and Justin, we're hacks.
My name is Justin Pierre. I play guitar badly and sing slightly better.
Justin Pierre is one of the most naturally gifted people I've ever encountered in my life. He's wacky, he's unpredictable.
Fuck you, hippie!
And he can immediately write a melody on the spot, which pisses me off. But I'm glad he's in my band.
Josh is an egomaniac.
Josh is awesome. He is probably one of the hardest working people I've ever encountered. If it weren't for him, this band wouldn't be where they are today.
He's kind of one of those guys that's always right even when they're wrong.
It's not gonna do what you want.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
He put all his time and money into the band, and it's working. So
You're like my best friend and I love you to death. So that's Josh Kane.
Can't we start it?
The guys that speak Italian said, "No, to infinity," and we're like, "Okay, let's fill it up." I think that's what he said.
Duck Days to Infinity? Somebody came up with the idea of what if we just did one really small show, we'll announce it, like either don't announce it at all or announce it like really last minute. Thankfully word got out because kids are here now.
We're doing the show at the 7th Street entry here in beautiful Minneapolis, Minnesota, because we wanted to do something for our hometown fans where it was a little more intimate.
We went to shows all our life, at First Avenue in the entry. I've seen, the Mighty Mighty Bosstones.
Smashing Pumpkins at First Avenue, Jawbox,
Walt Ming,
Flaming Lips, Mercury Rev,
Soul Asylum,
Fugazi, Superchunk, Boo Radleys, like just all of my favorite bands.
We really wanted to play a show in the 7th Street entry, because whenever we played the entry, there was like 3 people there.
I don't know, we wanted the hometown crowd to come out and just have a blast in a small room.
It'll definitely be interesting tonight.
Guys, no, this is my 10th. This is my 15th. I'm losing my Motion City virginity tonight. Oh my gosh. They're amazing live. I mean, to die for live. And they're probably my favorite band live. We've been here for about an hour and we have to wait like 2 more hours and probably country.
Is it going to be worth it, do you think?
There's no chance for it not being worth it.
The hot chocolate incident. We decided that we would go and get some hot chocolate for the kids that were waiting outside in the freezing cold.
It's freaking cold!
And there was a long line of kids waiting to get in that were just stuck outside the building, so.
And when we went in there, they yelled at us and they because we had a camera crew with us.
So they said it's gonna take like a half an hour to get 3 of those containers. Was she freaking out?
So yeah, I was scared that they wouldn't give us any hot chocolate.
We're on a time crunch. We have 15 minutes.
You're gonna ruin it for the kids.
Oh my God, are we gonna get it?
The children! Think of the children. Was that too loud? Sorry.
We eventually got them to make us a lot of hot chocolate.
And I think it turned out pretty good.
You guys did great.
It was cool. I know if I was waiting to see, one of my favorite bands and they came out and brought me hot chocolate, I'd be pretty stoked. So in other words, I'm awesome and Justin's awesome. We're awesome.
This is why I'm here. This is my daughter. And we're trying to get a ticket. Cool. And they were sold out. I stopped by earlier this week and they were sold out. So now they said there are a few tickets in line.
That's a good man. My dad's great and all, but he wouldn't do that, I don't think. Stand in the, 10 degrees, get me a ticket to go see some dumb band.
They're really fun. I don't know, I've been to 2 other ones. I went to one about 2 months ago.
Got the new album, thought it was great. I think it's probably one of the greatest bands ever to come out of Minnesota. Bigger than Prince. Bigger than Prince. Well, it's the first thing we had to do when we got to Warped Tour last summer. We immediately got in line as soon as we heard they were going to sign autographs. Probably my favorite story would have to be Warped Tour. Just getting to see him, getting right up next to him, getting autographs, standing in line forever, just being able to remember that for a long time.
Well, hell's bells! DVD was kind of at the top of our list of things we should include.
But yeah, it's just like a lot of footage, and we wanted to put something together, and we found, you know, it was just the right time to do that.
The old footage that we've shot over the years ourselves, and I'm kind of curious to see, because it's been a while since I watched all that.
You have to snap at the business point.
That band wasn't shit until I joined. I wrote all the songs. I had to sleep with Tony and Matt to get in the band, but kind of wanted to do that anyway. America's favorite leading man, Jesse Johnson.
There's lots of money to be made at the expense of all the fans. And you know, if there's one thing that we're known for not giving a shit about the fans.
I tried to give this penny to Justin, but he gave it back to me. But I want him to have it. I think you should have it.
This is it. Oh, it's a boat. It says Duluth, Minnesota on it. Oh, that's cute.
Smashing shit!
In Minneapolis, to me, like rock bands and growing up, like there's so many that it was. Minneapolis in the 90s was almost as you know, booming as the grunge scene in Seattle.
We had the Jayhawks, Soul Asylum, Husker Du, and Walt Mink.
There's so many bands that prospered in the early 90s from Minneapolis that I think that it just would seem like it was a thing to do that would work. Like you could be in a band and you could make it. You didn't have to move out to LA or something like that.
I don't know, before shows, every one of us has like a different type of thing that we like to do. Justin tends to make loud noises that bother Jesse. Jesse gets annoyed at those loud noises and it goes back and forth. That's basically, that's one of the pre-show things that happens. The other one is sometimes people jump up and down for a while.
I usually stretch a little bit. Freak a little bit. And poop.
So we had to yell at him at one point so that he had to be done with his bathroom stuff 5 minutes before we were going to play, because there's a couple times he was missing an action when we were supposed to be watching out on stage.
Nerves don't really get to me too much. Been doing this pretty steadily for a while now, so it's like getting up and going to the office, I guess.
Hey! Yeah, you know, the stage is big enough though. Once
it's bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Justin and I, you know, found each other.
I got something tasty for you.
Yeah, you too. Oh my goodness.
And I was like, I know Justin, I know he's a good singer, I want him in my band.
Justin was my older brother's roommate. It was pretty cool, but he was in a band called Slide Coaster. Yeah, I loved him. Justin says they sound like Smashing Pumpkins Jr., but who cares? Smashing Pumpkins rock.
A fan of what?
And basically I would go like, oh, I got a tour in Cleveland, I got a show in Cleveland, I got a show in Milton, Pennsylvania, and now I got to piece together dates. And so I started booking our band. Like, we had a lot of fun, and we played a lot of cool shows. Like, we played in Milton, Pennsylvania at this place called the My House Cafe, which was one of the better shows of the tour. And that's the show that Submerged, this band, played that Matt and Tony were from.
Me and Tony were playing some rock together back in our high school days, and then we both, you know, went to college, studied music, dropped out about the same time, started to do another rock band full time. We were called Submerge at the time. Over time, like, Motion City lost their drummer, and they kind of pestered Tony for about a year to join, and he said yes, then he said no, and then a few months later after that, he joined. He gave in, and then 6 months after that, I ended up joining.
Me and the guitarist from Champagne Kiss and Josh Kane all worked at a place called Pizza Luce. which is kind of like a punk rock pizza place. And right when Champagne Kiss broke up, Motion City was looking for somebody to play keyboards to take some stress off of Justin because he was playing guitar, playing keyboards, and singing. So they asked me if I'd ever touched a keyboard before, and I told them no. And they said I could learn, so I tried, and then I started playing keyboards instead of bass, which I've played in every other band since I was 15.
Years in the beginning, I'd say I probably controlled everything. I was probably a maniac.
I kind of removed myself a lot from that. You can ask Josh or anybody.
As a unit, we act together. We make democratic decisions.
I'm more into like the video stuff. My favorite shirts are the ones that never sell, so I'm no good at that. You know, we all kind of have our little areas that we're into.
We knew that online was a huge thing, and you know the band Hey Mercedes had this thing called a blog on their website forever ago, and they basically just had a journal, and there's a really in-depth and interesting, and you know, we didn't know anybody was reading these things, and then we started receiving emails when we don't do them that like, you need to blog, we don't know what's going on right now. We're like, wow, this is really rad, like this is really helping us connect with our fans. Instead of just being a rock band or whatever, I want to be friends with them.
We have Josh Terry, he's our tour manager.
Basically, I wake up every morning when the bus stops. We go in, set up production office, run through what the venue looks like, get the band ready for sound check, go over press.
Hello and welcome to Motion City Soundtrack.
Do all of our interviews, do meet and greets. Doors get opened, get everything ready, plays with security. Get the band on stage that night, play the show, and then organize when we're getting ready to leave to get to the venue on the next day on the exact time. So.
We got Mike, a lighting guy.
I'm the lighting director for the band. As we come into each venue, I have to assess what they have, which is everything from one or two halfway decent working lights in the room to a full theater, all kinds of neat toys.
My name is Kevin Willoughby, and I guess I would be called the drum technician. We have a sound guy, Pavan, who is the guy that actually makes our really crappy playing every night sound really good to the audience. So he's a very important member of the crew for sure.
Funny story, I was at their very first show that they ever played at Chain Reaction in California. Back then I had no idea that I would ever end up working for them. All their music is so easy to relate to, easy to identify with, I guess. That's what I really, truly adore about the actual music itself.
Beth Rabel, which most people probably know as our amazing merch girl.
My favorite design right now is this light blue one. It's designed by, I think it's a guy that also does some stuff for Blood Brothers too. Thanks for taking me along. I love you guys.
This is fun, right guys? It's fun.
Who's this guy right here?
That's Brian Diaz. Brian Diaz, who is one of my best friends, and he's the guy that, makes sure our guitars are in tune, makes sure that everything on stage is running smoothly, checks everything for us. Basically, one of the hardest working guys, in our crew, constantly running around, constantly sweating, constantly working his ass off.
Well, my name is Brian Diaz, and I am a guitar tech, sometimes production manager, sometimes tour manager.
Sometimes burrito eater.
Sometimes I eat burritos. I am the most tired man alive right now. Well, I wake up really early. I unload a bunch of stuff into a venue, set everything up, get everything the way I like it, and then the band comes in, changes all of that.
Brian Diaz.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, I drive around Long Island, right? I got this IROC Z. It's fucking red. It's got kicker box in the back, speakers, boom, boom. Yo, you get a chick in there, forget about it. You wouldn't even believe the things that she said. Dude, take me home. I want you naked. She said that just cause of bass, bro. It's all cause of the bass. So if you know kids out there, you want to get into the bass, you want to do the bass, do the damn thing, cause you're gonna trust me, believe me.
Boy, I tell you.
Your mic. Oh, this one? Okay. Beatbox for us right now? No. Who wants to hear this person beatbox for us right now? They won't hear that. When bad ideas go good.
Wait. I'm gonna be mean. Matt, you show him how they beatbox. It's amazing, isn't it?
Now said. We're gonna thank you. Quick tune.
We're called the Motion City Soundtrack.
Actually, we stole the name from Josh's older brother. He came up with the name for something he was going to do, and then Josh stole it from him, and he said that was okay, it's cool. I wasn't going to do anything with it anyway. And he did end up naming our first record on the movie, which was Jab at Me.
Just think of like what you hear here, and then think of it as good, and then like loud and electric. With like chocolate on top.
We had recorded our record on the movie with our own money. Like basically we had tried to record the record prior to that. It just wasn't sounding the way it was supposed to sound. Justin ran into some personal issues and the band almost like halted.
When we recorded on the movie, I had been in the band for like 2 weeks or something like that. But they had drum parts already. So that was my thing, is like not go crazy with changing things.
And we released the record ourselves by burning it first and then having it pressed, and we put it in floppy disks and we just started touring.
All the indie labels, which we felt we were probably more appropriate for an indie label, especially at that time in our band, they started approaching us. Brett got wind of our stuff on the internet, and we were like, man, Epitaph is like kind of a dream label for us because it's the biggest independent label. I mean, we could just still be kind of this do-it-yourself band, but now with a giant do-it-yourself label. So, I mean, this was like a perfect situation. We're like, the main dude loves our band and is also a rocker, so anything we go through, he's done. So it's like we can't really complain to him. He knows exactly what we're doing.
I'm Brett, and I own Epitaph Records. I used to play in a punk rock band called Bad Religion, and I'm the guy who signed Motion City. I remember hearing Shiver, and I remember hearing Future Freaks Me Out. I fell in love with it instantly. And I thought they wrote amazing hooks and had a great singer, and I just, it was one of those rare groups that in my career when I was initially exposed to them and I knew they would do well, and I had to have them. And I remember calling the managers and calling the band and just doing everything I could, turning on the old charm for whatever shreds of it I have left. I've never seen a harder working band, and I'm grateful for it. And I just want things to keep going the way they're going. Couldn't wish for anything else. It's a fantastic record, and thanks for buying it, kids. Buy a copy for your friends.
Epitaph is awesome because, we have a relationship with our record label that spans business and friendship, which I think is really cool. Like when we're in LA, we hang out with Brett. We hang out with Matt and Nick and like all the people at the label, and it's a friendly basis, and we can actually talk about things, business-wise as friends and relate to them. And not just as like dollar signs and like record sales and stuff. So I think that's a very comfortable place to be, which is why we wanted to go with Epitaph, because we felt really comfortable with Brett and Gina and everybody involved through the whole span of everything. So they've always been really good to us.
The first year, the year before we signed Epitaph, or the year after we signed Epitaph, one of the 2 years there, we literally played about 312 shows that year. The All American Rejects thing happened. We took on a lawyer. His name is Richard Grable. Eli from Girls Against Boys introduced us to him and was like, this is the lawyer you guys should have. He had a band called the All American Rejects, and our management and him were like, man, we should put these bands together because the All American Rejects, is a good band and they have a bright future ahead of them. The signs were all there that they were going to get huge. And they were like, you want to go on tour? And we're like, sure. And so we went out, I think it was like a 6-week tour with them, or I don't remember how long it was, but they took us out on their headlining tour as main support. That's right when things started going really well for them.
Yes. Oh, the motherfucking knees walk.
And that was a real catalyst to get our band kind of started in like getting fans on a more of a national level.
We brought to you Motion City Soundtrack.
I met these guys in this band called Limbeck.
Rob took the show. He's Golden Globe winner.
Rob had some good moves at the end.
He did. He went off on his own solo debut.
I felt the band performance was okay, but the dance performance after the show was great.
They're awesome dudes. They're just like some of the nicest people you could ever meet.
And we all decided we were gonna get tattoos, and we were each gonna get like the most ridiculous tattoo we could think of. Justin from Limbeck comes out like an hour and a half later, and mind you, this is, I think this is 2004, but he comes out and he's got this huge tattoo like right here, and it says Spring Break 99.
I love you. I love you. That's it.
It was a great time, and ever since then, we've just been like great friends.
I got the message long before you said you knew. I spent 2 years alone with.
And it was us, Limbeck, and the All-American Rejects. We took a ball of duct tape, basically, and made it into a hard ball, and we found a pipe, and decided we'd play some baseball. Hanging out with a bunch of dudes, being goofy, and having fun.
You know what my favorite accident is? I was 8 years old. We went down a hill. I was like 3rd or 4th in the bike train. Hit some gravel, slipped, my bike fell. I knocked the wind out of myself and lacerated my liver. Oh, the video. Long day, low budget, get everybody we know to help us.
We've heard Justin's side of the relationship. What's your take?
Boring American hippie shit.
Everybody needs somebody to love.
Future Freaks Me Out video?
Hey.
That was something we did in St. Paul, actually. We had Josh's brother come together and build the sets for a couple of days and did a great job. It was really cool. We just wanted to make it like a vivid, like, Rushmore style high school play feel kind of video.
Day before we start shooting, we have 3 days of shooting. It's gonna suck. We have nothing ready, as you'll see in a little bit.
Hey, that's no way to treat a lady.
Making a music video here.
Really?
Yeah.
Is killing a man different than a woman?
You have to pull the trigger a different way.
Look like you know what you're doing.
That would be the first. I like it this much, this many times.
So we went through that video. My family helped out a ton. Like even my nieces and nephews, they were throwing the glitter into the fans. Everything went really well.
These glasses just bring out my true personality.
We as a band love movies, and it just seemed right for us.
Hi, my name is Mark Hoppus, and I'm a musician, and now I'm a producer because Motion City Soundtrack asked me to produce their last record, Commit This to Memory.
We were in Japan with Blink. We came back home. We flew out to LA, and we spent about 4 weeks in a rehearsal studio. We wrote Commit This to Memory, and then we recorded the record.
But that's kind of how we work. Like Josh will have an idea, or Justin will have an idea, like one little part for a verse or a chorus or something. The last record, Commit This to Memory, was the first time that we all really just independently went in and had our own parts and put them together.
The way that I was introduced to Motion City Soundtrack was by my friend Brendan, who works at Atticus. He was a champion of this band for a long time, and he handed me their first CD called I Am the Movie and said, you gotta check this band out. So it kind of just sat in my car for about 3 months. And then I found it, and I was like, oh, I gotta check this band out. I put it in and fell in love with it immediately. We were on tour in Europe at the time, and we'd kind of become friends, and Josh and I were talking a lot about different bands and recording techniques.
Open the door.
We were in Paris, and Josh came into the dressing room and said, hey, we've kind of been talking, and we want to know if you'd be interested in coming into the studio with us on our next album. And I said, of course it would. I gotta give it up. I mean, honestly, these guys lived in this house. You guys couldn't go anywhere. The band couldn't leave the house because there was one van, there were 2 bedrooms, there were 6 guys staying there, and they'd wake up in the morning, go into the studio, record all day, and then at the end of the day, I'd go home, and these guys just go back in the house and hang around together again. Hey dude, I've been with all day, every day for the past 6 weeks. How's it going? I mean, there's no break. They didn't even get their own rooms to sleep in. That's the dedication that this band has. I think of Motion City soundtrack and I think of these big rock Midwestern bands. I think of big, sloppy, in the best possible way, huge guitars. Just great American rock and roll music, but taken a little different way because they kind of have a modern edge to them and they also have the electronic keyboard side to them.
This is me all day. I'm in the studio. Yeah, I'm just hanging out. Yeah, it's alright, I guess. Ooh, yeah, I don't know. We might have to redo that.
The place we were recording was actually a studio that's built in a building behind a house in a suburban part of the valley here in Los Angeles. And one night at about 2 o'clock in the morning, we were working very late and we were working on the song Hangman. And we were trying to get this distorted 808 kick drum sound, which is just one of those big boom, one of those kind of sounds. So it was this huge, gigantic sound at 2 o'clock in the morning, and the family next door wasn't so happy with hearing the sound. We were trying to get just the right sound and tune it, and we were just blowing the thing up for like an hour almost. And the cops came and said that if we recorded past 10 o'clock at night anymore, they would come and they would confiscate all the equipment.
And I really like Mark's simple style, but it's so catchy. Like it's just a good, good feeling, and it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. He came in and he basically said, you guys have good songs already, and if I make a recommendation and you don't like it, it's fine. It's your record. It's your songs. But like we went with him. There was some spots where he was like, you don't have to sing the whole time. You can take a breath, let the music speak, or let the music breathe.
One of the best parts of the entire album was the end of Time Turned Fragile, and that happened completely by accident. What we were doing was we were playing something back, and Josh was holding up his guitar in front of the speakers, and it was doing this loop, this like reverb, delay, feedback loop that just kept going and made one of the most interesting sounds that we never intended to happen, but it was such a cool moment caught on tape that, that we had to use it. Next for me is recording with Plus 44, touring with Plus 44 and making that band happen, producing, being a dad, being a husband, writing the great American novel, climbing Mount Everest, single-handed whitewater river rafting, and finding the inner peace that I so desperately need and want. And that's just in the next 3 or 4 days. So I'm busy.
We're Motion City Soundtrack.
I'm Michael. I just wanted to thank you, the Boombox Generation, for voting for us at the MTV Woody Awards. It's amazing that we won. It's all because of you. Fall Out Boy Tour is doing really well. What smells like mayonnaise? Thanks once again. Rock on.
We made the Everything's Alright video. About halfway through Warped Tour, our video started really taking hold on Fuse. Like Fuse Television and started playing the crap out of the video.
This time we actually hired full-on directors, and then Justin and Josh helped with the treatment. They all kind of contributed. They worked with Chris Grismer and Crystal Lynn. He joins us at the end, and it's just a wacky fusion of fun and funk. all those negative aspects added up into one big ball of fun.
Looking for a mood, an emotion to be evoked. Not really tell too much of a story, not really just kind of give people like a, kind of indifferent.
All right.
Well, the best part's obviously, traveling, meeting people, getting to play music for a living, writing songs, being able to do all that, everything that you would expect.
So sprechen Sie Deutsch. Barcelona.
it Usland, Grad Desert, Steinen, it is a great desert, Steinen, Shannon Steinen.
Yeah, that was weak.
When we were in Australia, we were like, man, we want to see some kangaroos, like some things that we can't see over here.
I had 3 things that, you know, come hell or high water, I was gonna do.
Hello.
Get a tattoo of a kangaroo, pet a kangaroo, and hold a koala.
They look like big cats, big weird cats. They are totally humping.
Yeah, actually, I discovered Vegemite over there, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Spent a lot of time there, walking around. Although, you know, Justin got to play with the monkeys, which was fun. Got to pretend he was a monkey, which he always enjoys. He's kind of a monkey.
I know it sounds really stupid, but it just bums me out.
Yeah, I feel the same way, but you know what? I get to see some.
I feel that way, but then I realized that despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage.
Wow. You're a poet, man.
I hold you? Every time we come to Florida, for years, I was obsessed with finding some gators. For like 3 years straight, I was just denied every time. All the other bands are on tour were like, do you see those gators at the rest stop? I see a sign that says, feed gators, and there's an arrow pointing to the right. And I was like, feed gators!
How's it make you feel, Tommy?
Feels good. My dream finally came true. Rudy Rutger de Ruyter, one of my favorite human beings on the planet. We didn't know anything about him really. He was a friend of one of the old drivers we had.
I go on tour with bands.
He's the raddest dude ever. He's covered from head to toe in tattoos, even down to his feet. He has Vans shoes tattooed on his feet. He's the most angry, happy man ever.
So what the fuck is up, yo? We're in fucking Austria. Look at that American fucking flag.
He's like always pissed off about something, but always having fun and smiling. We are obsessed with him, and now anytime we go over to the UK or Europe, he, even if we're not in a van and he's not driving us, he ends up working for us, like doing monitors or drum teching somewhat, because we love that man.
Cheers.
Cheers, Stout Chin Cheerio.
Hell right.
Ringo. We were in England and we were at this ski lodge. They have ski lodges there where they do dry skiing, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. But we had these like tubes, these snow tubes. It's not even a mountain; it's a hill you can walk up. I walked up it in like 5 seconds.
Was about like this.
Yeah, and everyone's just like laying back. And they're trying to like just falling over it, and the thing's trying to pull them. And it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen 5 grown men try to do.
One of my favorite things I ever saw in my entire life, we were in Chicago on the Epitaph tour last year. Brian Diaz, our beloved guitar tech, he went out and he had a few that night. Next thing you know, a minute after he's done talking, he is snoring.
Yes. What's going on?
For some reason, somebody said something about putting a hot dog in his hand. I don't know why. And then Justin actually went and actually cooked the hot dog also, put it in a bun. We put the hot dog in his hand. Still doesn't wake up.
What's going on?
And I think it was Josh was like, everybody go back by the bunks and like hide, and we'll turn all the lights out and just act like he fell asleep up here with a hot dog in his hand somehow.
Diaz. What's up, dude? You've been sleeping out here since like 5 in the morning.
I know. You guys have been trying to get my hot dogs. I don't want this.
And I think I probably laughed harder than I possibly have ever laughed at that moment.
Five, 6, 7, 8. Motion City, I was lucky enough I got to work with them a couple years ago on one of their first music videos as an editor.
Do we have to turn the film around the camera too?
Yeah, we'll flip the film around. Justin's gonna have to walk on his hands. That was for My Favorite Accident, which is still one of my favorites just because of the the Pink Bunny.
But this is very much like real life.
Yeah.
Like I get a cab to go to the liquor store because I had to sell my car because I couldn't.
booze.
Yeah, I gotta buy booze. So
Yeah.
kind of all works out.
But yeah, then we did The Future Freaks Me Out, which was a way bigger production. I cut that as well. Got a call a week ago. They're like, "Can we do this?" And I said yes, and I think it's gonna work. But we got a lot to cram in, so hopefully we can get it all done.
I'm trying to not do it too happily.
No, you gotta do it like,
let's get fucked up and die.
that's almost too confident even there.
You know, well, just like it's
Don't
like,
even do that. You can't ham it up.
Like,
You can't ham it up.
let's get fucked up and die.
Like, no ham. I don't want any of the Justin ham. Justin hams it up all the time.
It's so hard not to. Moon's over my hammy without the hammy.
Yes, yes. My favorite dish at Denny's.
The concept of this video is basically just connecting all of the random walks of life.
Keep the ham in your pants. I don't know what that meant.
And leading up to the band rocking out, which is always the key to a music video.
Okay, so the whole.
So that'll give you some time to get from the car, and then when you get up to the doors, you'll be like, God damn, this liquor store is closed.
I'll have a guiltless chicken salad sandwich. Hold the mayo.
In this department.
Hey, video's over. Lights are off. Done. Finished. To the kid who gave me the Duluth, Minnesota penny, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to go into the dumpster. The memory of that penny will remain with me for at least 2 more weeks, at which point I will then forget it, like I've forgotten most of my childhood and early adulthood.
We call it Tordum, actually. We save a syllable or two.
Bored. You're really only busy for sound check, maybe some interviews, and when you play.
I am known as the king of boredom.
Playing video games or watching TV or all the kind of the normal stuff, maybe reading.
I still don't really know how to keep myself occupied.
I have a book that will read 2 pages every week.
I'm a fan of like Flannery O'Connor, Ian Banks, Russell Banks, Raymond Carver.
I read the Brian Wilson autobiography.
The Patricia Highsmith. Oh yeah, hold on.
Motley Crue's The Dirt is quite a read.
Jerry Stahl, amazing fucking writer. Charles Bukowski. Today I woke up, I fell asleep.
I don't know what to say about that. I'm a fan of a lot of different types of movies.
I watch a lot of movies. I hope to actually direct movies. I've been writing one screenplay for like 8 years. Favorite movie of all time is Stranger Than Paradise.
Spike Jonze, being John Malkovich, Eternal Sunshine.
Barfly is probably my second favorite movie.
Big fan of Spaceballs. Also big fan of the Goonies when I was a kid.
The Night of the Iguana is probably my third favorite movie.
Star Wars was cool, you know. Tony's a huge Star Wars fan, so I shouldn't even go there.
That was the childhood, and then it didn't really ever go away.
And then maybe Raising Arizona is 4.
You know, classics like Short Circuit, Cannonball Run.
Well, my latest addiction has been seasons of television shows on DVD.
I like Mr. Show, Arrested Development, 6 Feet Under.
I play video games basically all the time.
Game Boy or PSP, I don't know.
As long as it's fun. As long as the controls are good. I hate it when the controls are bad. A lot of the tours have been on that people actually do like playing poker because it eats a lot of time and sometimes you get to make some money, so.
When we're finishing up a tour, heading back home, and we pass those familiar street signs, and we see the city. You know, in the distance, it's always like just a giant sigh of relief kind of thing. Just nice to know that there's calm coming. If I want to sleep for 48 days in a row, you know, or however long the break is, that I can.